Tom's on Corfu for us this morning. Tom, can this be linked to climate change?
Morning, Kay. Well, almost, yes, absolutely it can. In fact, that's the conclusion of an international team of scientists today, that the wildfires that we're seeing have been fuelled by heat waves that would have been virtually impossible, they conclude, without man-made emissions of carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases to the atmosphere, putting another layer of glass on that greenhouse, pushing up global temperatures. That heat's got to go somewhere, and it ends up in heat waves that can lead to wildfires like the ones we're seeing. Here on Corfu, they're still water bombing this gorge that I'm in from firefighting aircraft to control the fires here. They're pretty much out. They've been helped by very low winds and quite low levels of vegetation, even on this small sort of wooded northeast part of the island. Obviously on roads, a completely different story, much more forested. Questions being raised about how well prepared or how well managed the fire situation on roads had been. But also, as you were saying there, questions about the travel industry bringing tourists into an area that clearly wasn't going to be able to accommodate them, and now they need to get extra flights in to get them out. And it's emergencies like that we think of. These are one-offs, these are rare things, but what the science is telling us, what this report tells us, these things are going to become even more common. You know, right now we're living with just over about 1 degree of global warming on average around the planet. With 2 degrees of warming, it's a point we're going to get to in about 30 years if emissions aren't radically cut to zero in the coming decades. The events that we're seeing now will be happening every 2 to 5 years, this report concludes. Which is a very sobering thought and raises questions about what that new normal looks like and what that means for all of us, not just the people who live here and the economy and productivity of areas like this, but also tourism and how it affects our lives as well.
Just a quick thought, Tom. I was reading last night that Europe is heating twice as quickly as any other continent. That's pretty alarming.
And this is the vagaries of a warming global climate. We know that carbon dioxide is going up in the atmosphere. We know on average it's getting warmer. Where that heat goes, where it spends its time, that's much, much harder to predict in a chaotic, complex climatological system. What we've seen, 3 concurrent heat waves during this summer in North America, Europe, and over Asia. We see the Arctic warming much, much faster in our areas. Yes, now this evidence that Europe is heating faster, particularly the Mediterranean Sea. What the impacts will be of global warming, that's going to be the real battle for scientists to understand. How's this going to play out? What are the impacts on that global system, and where will they emerge, and what new threats might they pose?